Hello Year 2 and welcome to your Wednesday Maths. It's the 27th of January 2021 and we are continuing with our multiplication and division for today. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building on our understanding of the 10 times table today. So just like we did yesterday when we looked at our 5s and in the previous lesson where we looked at our 2s, now we're going to be exploring our 10s. Okay, let's get straight into it. What I would like you to do is practice your supertising skills by counting the dots. Get ready, eyes on the screen, let's go. This time, count the green dots. This time, count the pink dots. Next, count those lines. Okay, time to review. The first one, there were 2 and 2 yellow dots, which makes 4, 2 groups of 2. Next, we were looking for those green dots and we had a 2 and a 2, so that is 2, 4, 6. Well done if you got that one right. Next, it was those pink dots. Let's have a look. We've got a 3 and a 2, which is equal to 5. And finally, our lines. We've got 2, 4, 6 and 1 at the bottom, which makes 7. Well done if you managed to supertise correctly all of those. Now time for our key vocabulary. Remember, please use this throughout today's maths lesson in all of your mathematical discussions. Multiply, tens, skip count, groups of. Fantastic. Okay everybody, it's now time for your do now. Now you might have noticed that today our do now is not on the worksheet. That's absolutely fine. We're going to work through some of these together now so that it can really help you and get your maths brains warmed up and ready to go. Okay, below you will see that there are 4 questions, okay? We're going to work on these 2 together as a bit of a guided practice, and then I'm going to leave you to work the other 2 out using the methods that I've taught you. Now let's look at the first one. We've got 3 times by something equals 12, or 3 multiplied by something that we don't know is equal to 12. Now some of you might know that already, because if you count in your 3s until you get to 12, then you might just get the answer. However, if we were explaining our thinking, it would look like this. We've got a multiply sign here, but we need to use the inverse operation to help us to find the answer. Okay, so the inverse operation of multiplication is division. When we were looking at addition and subtraction, we noticed that the inverse operation to addition was subtraction. And it's just the same for multiplication and division. All we do is we can find the answer by using the opposite operation, okay? So to do this, what we need to do is we need to take our answer, and in this case, the answer is 12, okay? And we need to divide that by the parts that we do know, because remember there are 2 parts here. We've got the 3 and we've got something which is unknown, which we're trying to find. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 12 divided by the part that we do know, which is 3. So we're going to do 12 divided by 3. And to help me, I'm going to use a method that I've already learned in a previous lesson. I'm going to use division by grouping. So I'm going to draw out my 12 little dots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to now group them into groups of 3. There's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and 4 groups. Okay, So now I can work out the answer, because how many groups of 3 do I have? Well done if you said 4, because 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. Brilliant. So I know that 4 needs to go in my missing number box, okay? And we can check that by using our 3 times tables. Let's practice counting in our 3's up to 3 times 4. Are you ready? Let's see if we get the answer of 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. Excellent. Brilliant. So we know that that is correct. Now let's look at the equation underneath. Now we've got another missing part. We've got 12 divided by something is equal to 3. I wonder if any of you have noticed something. Well done, everybody. If you noticed that this equation looks very similar to this one, doesn't it, that we were doing before? Well, shall we see if we can use our division again to help us? Because we've got our whole here. Our whole is 12. And we've also got one of our parts again, haven't we? We're just looking for the other part. So we've got 12 divided by 3 is equal to something. Well, this time I'm going to use division by sharing to help me find my answer. So I'm going to draw 3 groups because I need to share 12 equally between my 3 groups. Then I'm going to share 12 out. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many are in just one of those groups? Well done if you said 4. And that would be another one of our parts, because 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. So well done if you got that right. We just need to move the equation around to help us to find the missing number, okay? And if we were to check this, if we drawn out 12 again, or we drawn out 4 groups and shared 12 sweeties between those 4 children, then we would have 3 in each group, okay? Now you might want to check that by drawing it out, or we could count in our 4s until we got to 12 and we would probably have 3 fingers up. Let's give it a try. 4, 8, 12. See? So it's that relationship between multiplication and division which really helps us to find the missing numbers in number problems. Now, this is very tricky stuff, but what I would like you to do is I'd like you to have a go at exploring the other 2. Now, you might not need to draw out all of the things that I've drawn out. You might know a quicker and an easier method to find the answers, and that's okay. You can use those methods if you would like to, okay? So have fun, everybody, and I'm sure that you will all be brilliant at your do now. Off you go. Okay, so in today's lesson, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be skip counting in tens. So let's have a little practice now. Are we ready? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Just be careful when you're saying your numbers that you don't say them as teens, because sometimes that's what we can do. We can get a little bit mixed up and we might say the numbers 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90 as 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, but they're 2 completely different numbers. So we've got to be really, really careful that when we're doing our skip counting in tens, that we say our tens, okay? So that's a really important skill to master. So if you're having trouble with this, you might want to take a moment to pause the slide and have a little practice. So again, we're at that time of the day where we're going to practice some of our counting. So I want you today to explore your 10 times tables, because this will help you when you're trying to work out the answers to today's lesson. So once you've done that, you may come back to this slide, pause it, and figure out the answers to some of these questions. Okay, off you go, children. Okay, here is your talk task. Just like yesterday, what you have to do is you have to look at the equation, find the answer, and find the correct pictorial representation. So when I say pictorial representation, all I mean is picture, okay? So you've got to work out the answers and find the pictures, okay? So you may pause video here, and you might just want to have a little chat with whoever you've got around, or you might want to try to do this independently, because I know that you're all very confident with your 10 times tables. Let's see if you can get any of them correct. Okay, it's time to develop your learning a little bit further. Just like yesterday, we're going to look at what the picture represents as a multiplication equation. So let's take a look at this one. Each chocolate bar has 10 pieces of chocolate. You can count them now if you would like to. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See? Each piece of chocolate has got 10 little pieces, okay? So if we were counting this, we would count it as tens, wouldn't we? So we've got how many tens here? How many bars of chocolate have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got 4 times by the amount in 1 bar of chocolate. What is the amount in 1 bar of chocolate worth again? Excellent, it's worth 10. So we've got 4 times 10. What is 4 times 10? We can use this number line at the bottom to help us if we need to. All we would do is start from 0 and skip count 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 10 is 40. Superstars. There we go. Excellent work, everybody. Let's move on to our next one. Okay, now we have 2 multiplication equations. Let's have a look how many groups there are in the first one. Remembering that each group is worth 10, but let's find out how many groups there are first, okay? So there's 1 here, another one there, a 3rd one there, a 4th one here, and a 5th one, okay? So we've got 5 groups. 5, remembering this multiplication sign only means groups of, that's all it means. If you were saying the multiplication equation out loud, you would say 5 groups of how many? 10. Super, well done. So 5 groups of 10, or 5 multiplied by 10 is equal to, well, let's count in our tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Excellent. 5 tens is equal to 50. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom one. Now, if you'd like to pause the video and have a little go yourself, then that's absolutely fine. You can do that. But if you do want some more support, I will go on and help you and guide you through to finding the answer to the next one. So if you do want to do it yourself, please pause the video. Everybody else, let's guide you to answer the question. So again, the first thing we need to do is find how many groups of chocolates there are, okay? So let's count the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Fantastic. We have 6 groups. So let's go ahead and put that in our multiplication equation. 6 groups of, remember, this just means groups of. How many are in one group? Because that's what we need to put next. So how many are in just one of those bars of chocolate? How many pieces? There are 10. Super. So 6 groups of 10 equals, let's count in our tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Brilliant. So 6 multiplied by 10 is equal to 60. Superstars, well done. Okay, let's explain today's main activity. So today, it's a bit like yesterday's task. You're going to be using that table again, and you're going to be creating a table of 10. So what we're going to do is, the school cook is making some cakes for the end of our term. The recipe says that she needs 10 eggs to bake 1 cake. Now, luckily, all of the eggs come in boxes of 10. So we need to figure out how many eggs she will need to bake the cakes, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do on my table, and I did this yesterday with my class, and they seemed to really understand what they had to do. So the first thing I'm going to do, and it kept them on task too, because sometimes we can get a little bit muddled up with how many we need for each. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to write out or draw my cakes. Now for me, for the purpose of this, I'm just going to write the numbers of cakes. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. Or if you want to draw the cakes, then you can do that too, okay? So here we've got 1 cake, and I'm going to fill out this table. I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I was drawing them, I would physically draw 2 cakes, and then 3 cakes, and then 4 cakes, and then 5 cakes, just like we did yesterday with our cookies, okay? Then what I would do is I would go to my number of eggs column, okay? And I would draw out my eggs. So this time I need 2 boxes of 10 eggs in each. So the way that I'm going to draw it is I'm not going to draw my 10 little eggs. I'm just going to put a 10 in there and a 10 in there because I know that that represents 10. Then I'm going to do my 3 boxes with 10 eggs in each. There's 1 and 2. I apologise about my dodgy drawing, everybody. It's very hard to draw with a laptop mouse. There we are. There's my 3. And then I will continue to keep going until I reach the end of my table with my eggs. Then I'm going to fill out the multiplication equation. Now, you should notice a pattern of number. Here we've got 1, then we will have 2 there, 3 there, 4, and 5, okay? Because they're all the beginnings of our equation. Then all we're doing for each one is we're just timesing it by 10 because all it represents is how many eggs you'll need in comparison to the amount of cakes that you have, okay? So remember we said that we need 1 box of eggs for each cake that we use. Well, you're just going to be doing that in your table. And remember, eggs come in boxes of 10. So each one of these numbers will be times by 10, okay? And then I'll write my equals. And then all I do is I count in tens the amount of eggs I've got in the number of eggs column, okay? So for example, in this one, I've got 10, 20. So my answer will be 20. And then you keep going until you get all the way to the end of your table, okay? I hope you get on okay with your main activity today. It is a nice and easy one, and it's really getting you to think about those 10 times tables. And also, it might be an idea to maybe spot some number patterns that are in there too. Okay, time for your plenary. Now, in your plenary today, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be answering a question that Miss Thompson has maybe got right or wrong. I don't know. You've got to work that one out. So I've said that 35 divided by 5 is the same as or equal to 40 divided by 10. So to work out the answer to this, what I would do is I would work out the answer to this one and work out the answer to this one, and then I would decide whether Miss Thompson is right about this equal sign or wrong. And then I need to explain my thinking. So why am I right or why am I wrong? So an example might be, Miss Thompson is correct because 40 divided by 10 gives us the same answer as 35 divided by 5. Or you could say, Miss Thompson is wrong because 30 divided by 5 is more than 40 divided by 10, for example. Good luck everybody, and I hope that you challenge yourself to do your chili challenge today. Goodbye for now everyone.